Welcome once again to the Betrayal at Krondor Remastered demo project. I am Neal Hallford. I am your host for these videos, as well as the guy behind all of this stuff. Once again, for those of you who may be joining us for the first time, this is a rework of some of the elements of the original hit role-playing game, Betrayal at Krondor, which I co-designed with John Cutter and worked on with a lot of great people from Dynamics back in the early 90s. So last time, whenever we were working on things, we showed you a look at what the keyword and dialogue system, how it works, and getting an idea of sort of how it will function. Now, what I'm working on currently is the puzzle chest aspect of the game. Now, I know there are a lot of you out there who really loved the original, loved the puzzle chest. I would love to be able to take credit for that particular design, but for the most part, the design in terms of the functionality itself, that was largely John Cutter. I did work with him on some of the puzzles, but when people talk about Betrayal at Krondor, this is one of the systems that people go gaga about, and actually, I've even seen some modern versions of this particular mechanism that John came up with crop up in some fairly recent RPGs, and so I won't name any names, but it's kind of nice to have people even today still looking back at what we did in 1993, and they still think it's a really great and exciting mechanic. So let's go ahead and hop in and start looking at what we've got to offer here in the new game. So we'll walk up a little bit closer to get a little closer look at the chest. Now, first of all, one of the things you will kind of notice, particularly those of you who are fans of the original game, is that we have a three-dimensional chest. Now, in the original game, there were chests in the world that you would see as well, but what is significantly different is that the chests in the original game, once you actually started to solve them, were actually a 2D interface. And so whenever you interacted with it, was entirely 2D. And so one of the things that I wanted to do is say, let's actually make the 3D object, the thing that's in the world, the chest itself, be the thing that you interact with. So one of the things that's been exciting and also challenging about this particular project is that as the game designer, my job has primarily in the past been primarily dealing with coming up with the game systems, coming up with the dialogue, coming up with the events that are going on in the game. But for this particular project, since I'm doing this pretty much all on my own, I had to actually get my hands a little bit dirty and get into a 3D editing package. And so I just went out and grabbed one of the most popular free editors out there, and that's Blender. And so you can kind of see here that I'm doing a little bit of the construction of the 3D chest here, and was able to kind of create that. And so I've had several kind of learning curves in dealing with this, not only in terms of learning about how to create 3D items on my own and import them into the LUNBERYARD game engine, but also integrating the art and all that other stuff. And so it's been kind of fun and exciting to be able to challenge and try these different areas of the game development that usually in the past I've not had to deal with, because I've had entire teams of developers and artists and other folks who are working on it. So let's get a little bit closer and take a look at this chest. So we'll walk up on it. So one of the really fun things about what another aspect of something that was new in developing these puzzle chests was, of course, bringing in some music and sound effects and so on and so forth. And so learning how Amazon implements those things. And so in many of the past games I've worked on, it was as simple as take a sound effect, drop it into a folder, and then you just would have a Lua script and quickly grab a hold of that. But actually there's a whole kind of complicated way that LUNBERYARD brings sounds in. And again, this is somewhat inherited from the Crytek game engine. And for those of you who are following me on Patreon, I'll be talking some more in depth about how bringing sounds into the game works. But I want to thank one of my followers on Facebook, Adam Price, who took the original puzzle chest music and put his own new spin on it, so we would have this fun kind of music that we've got going on here for our solving the puzzle chest. So let's go ahead and try to solve our puzzle. So we have a classic puzzle here from the original Betrayal at Krondor. I've slightly reworded it, I think, but again, the same basic idea comes through. So to save our king from vile attack, always we advance and never move back. So let's see what we have as a solution. So you see that our tumblers actually rotate in 3D. And we get a little fun little sound effect that goes with it. So we rotate here, and down here, then last, aha! And so the chest opens up, and we fire off a particle effect. And again, with Amazon Lumberyard, they have this very powerful system for creating particle systems and everything else. Something else that was entirely new to me, Amazon's the Lumberyard game engine doesn't come preloaded with effects, and so any particle effects that you want to create, you have to create from scratch. And so this was something else that was entirely new in terms of something that I had to do. And so I created, went into Photoshop, and I created the original sprites and created the animated sequences, and then also imported them into Amazon Lumberyard so that I could fire them off once we open up the chest. So this is kind of short in comparison to the demo that we did last time around, but I wanted you to get an idea of sort of how we are progressing with this particular demo. And again, I want to thank a lot of people who've been helping out with this. And again, another thank you again to Adam Price. Go see his website, adampricecomposer.com, because he went in and he created this whole new take on the original music that had been done by Jan Paul Moorhead. So please go check out his website and thank him for helping out on this. Also want to give a huge, gigantic shout out to JC Connors and all of the amazing guys that are at Amazon Lumberyard. They have been giving me a huge amount of personal love and support while working with their engine in terms of answering questions and all this other stuff. Thanks to all of those wonderful people. Please keep watching. If you're enjoying seeing some of the things that can be done in the engine, or if you're just a big fan of the original Betrayal at Krondor and you just want to kind of show some love for all that other stuff, please come over and hit my Patreon page. We're going to be offering special additional materials on there. So I'll be actually offering up the flow node systems so that if you want to kind of use what I've done so far as a kind of jumping off point to create some of your own stuff, I'll actually give you the XML files for that so you can create your own flow node systems based on what we've done here. Thank you, and we'll see you again next time.